Hello, my crafty friends. Um, Day after tomorrow, I have to do a spinning demonstration at a history fair in the Powder Canyon. Um, and so um, I decided I better practice. It's been a long time since I did very much spinning, and I haven't spun. And what demonstrations I have done lately, I've only done on the with hand spindles, and this time I'm going to be using a spinning wheel. Um, and I decided that, and I haven't done a demonstration where I used the hand cards in a long time either. So I decided I needed to brush up on all of that. I'm trying to clean it if you can't tell. There's some leftover wool in it from times gone by. Hannah used them not too long ago, and so she uses hand cards more than I do. But anyway, I'm going to be spinning mostly this time at this demonstration from just cleaned sheep's wool. I've got some over here that is a Corriedale cross, and it's pretty long. It's real springy. It's a really nice wool. And these locks have been cleaned, but that's all that's been done to them. Let me zoom in a little bit so maybe you can see better. And so what I'm going to do, I really want to clean that off. Let me get some. No, I'm just going to have to use some of this because it's anyway. To load the cards, you do it like this, and these are really made for wool shorter than this. But this is the wool I have, and so it's the wool I'm going to use. And you start at the cut end here and pull the locks down like that. Now, I will tell you that there are a lot of different ways that people do this. And so if you're a spinner and you don't load it this way, you know as well as I do that whatever you were taught first is probably what you do. And so if you were not taught whatever's conventional, then you probably don't do it conventional. Um, and I don't know whether the method I was taught was um, the best method or not. I just know it's what I was taught, and so it's how I do it. Um, some of this is a little messy. It doesn't have a, it's hard for me to see what's up and down. So I'm just going to put it on here and not worry about it. But once you've loaded it on there, it's white, so it's kind of glaring. Then you take this one. Let me get my shoe back on. Sorry, I take my shoes off to spin, but I need my knees level, so I'm putting them back on for this. And you're just kind of taking it and pulling it off. Now you can see that it's coming off way out here, and we'll fix that. But what you want to do is lift it and pull it so that it comes off and straightens out the wool. And you don't want to stop before you get it all the way out, or it just kind of rolls the wool up on itself. So you're just pulling the wool off the hand cards. And some people only card from right to left, and they take it off and then card again right to left. I didn't find out that was a thing until after I'd learned to do it this way. But I don't really see how it could really be that much different. So I'm just continuing to do it the way I was taught. The main thing is to pull it all the way off. And then you've got this fluff. And I'm going to do it one more time. Smooth it out a little bit more. Okay, and then you're going to take it and back it off like that. So now it's loose. And there are two ways you can roll it. You can roll it like this, which is for woolen spinning, and that's a roll log. or you can roll it like this, which is for more worsted spinning. And the difference is the way the wool is lined up. If you roll it, let me see if I can lay it back out. It wants to stay together once you get it there. If you roll it this way, then the wool is twisted like this, and you're pulling it out twisted like this. If you roll it like this, it comes out straighter and more like a more like top, which is a form that you buy where it's all lined up nice and pretty, and you can make perfectly smooth yarn with that. At least some people can. But this is how I'm going to spin right now, because these hold in my hand easier than those long skinny ones, and I'm less likely to hold it too tight. And one of the bad things when you spin is if you hold it on too tight, then that gives you all kinds of trouble. So anyway, I've got a little bit on here that I did that was brown. Let me see if I can readjust things so you can see. Back out a bit. You can see this that's on here. Maybe you can. There we go. Is brown, and I was using this little roll-log. This is much shorter wool, and so it makes a smaller roll-lag. Anyway, I'm gonna just fluff a little. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here. Okay, we're gonna have to kind of try to rearrange here. Let's see if we can get it out here far enough that I didn't pay as much attention to this as I should have when I was getting ready. Sorry. Okay, and we're just gonna have to go from here, because my all the way over there, if I can do it, is where my mouse is. So we're going to take this that I've already spun, and I'm just going to lay it on top of this white. And then we get this spinning wheel going. Whoa, come on. And as it starts to take the wool, it'll mix the white in with the brown. And then we can just start spinning the white. Now, depending on how much wool you pull out at a time is how thick your yarn's going to be. So you can make it fairly thin, or you can make it pretty thick. You tend to get to a place where you make all your yarn pretty much the same, unless you work really hard at having the variety built in, doing a lot of different kinds of yarns. And I haven't even spun in quite a while, so I've got to I'm just going to spin what comes naturally right now. Now I'm going to have a lump right there, and I don't mind some of those in there, because it's that's what happens when you got hand spun yarn in a not perfect preparation. You also have not perfect spinning. Of course, I'm not a perfect spinner anyway. I spin for fun and not I don't sell my stuff, so nobody can complain if they don't like what I spin. They don't have to use it, it's for me. And I've got quite a few little things in there that are bubbling up. And you spin, you usually spin 2 bobbins or more like this, and then you take those 2 bobbins or more, and you backspin them together, and that's called plying. And that's how you get a yarn that has more than one strand in it, like you buy at the store. Most of the things you buy at the store are 2-ply or 3-ply or 4-ply or 8-ply or something like that. That's how many of these strands they've put into it. And so right now I'm just doing the basic And this is it's a semi-worsted that I'm doing right now, which means it's smoother than pure woolen spinning, but it's not as smooth as pure worsted spinning. And that tends to be what I spin. I like some fluffiness in it, but I also like it to have the strength of the worsted. And I just enjoy spinning. I like the repetition. I even like to listen to my wheel go clackety clack. There's just something peaceful about it. After I get a little bit more done here, I'll go ahead and pull it off and apply it back on itself so you can see. This might be a good time because I've got my machine backed up against something, so I need to scoot out a little bit. Okay, if we take it like this and we just let it fly back on itself, then you can see what it would look like. I don't know if you can tell. And it's not spun real tightly, which makes it's a real, you can tell looking at it here. Let me go ahead and take this back off. You can tell it's pretty springy. And that's one of the pleasures of wool. So there's that. Let me see if I can get it back out. And now I'm gonna let me go ahead and put this. Okay, I'm going to move my, you can see the yarn's built up there, so I'm going to move it over here so it can start in a different place when I start spinning again. Okay, I'm going to move this back out of the way. And then I'm going to mix. And I think I'm just going to use what I've got here. And I'm going to mix the, let's just lay it out there. It's kind of cheating, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's put this down under there so I can mix these two together, and we'll make kind of a tweed. Well, you can kind of see how it's beginning to mix in a little bit. I didn't put a lot of brown in this, so it's gonna still be mostly white. Let's go ahead and go. Okay. You can see now the brown's mixed in with the white. So we're going to roll that up, and we'll spin a little bit of that. No, I think I'll spin from this side. Sometimes you can tell one side's just going to be nicer than the other side. So now I'll Sorry, I have to keep flipping everything around back and forth, but I don't like moving my camera. So I'm trying to make it, um, whoops, trying to make it work where it is. Ooh, quite a big glob there. The different lengths in the wool um, make a difference too in how it comes out in the yarn. Now you can purposefully make big bumps, and they call that thick and thin, or and that turns out pretty cute too. I kind of like the mostly one size, and then when you blend it together, those lumps don't come out real even, and so it looks it has a more natural look to it, I think. I have a friend who spins, and I promise you, her yarn looks like it was spun by a machine. She does such perfect spinning. It's amazing to me that she can spin such perfect yarn. It's beautiful, but I doubt mine will ever be like that, because well, for one thing, it's not that important to me for it to be perfect. But also, I don't put the amount of time into it that she does, because I have lots of other things I like to do too. But I do love spinning, and I love weaving. Sometimes you kind of have to pull and hold on to some of it a little more than you do others, so that it'll ooh, there's a big blob. Back off a little bit. It's running into that box again. I don't usually spin in this spot, and I don't usually have to worry about that. And if you spin on the carpet, your wheel doesn't walk like it walks in here, so I may need to put some gripper or something underneath it. I don't know if you can see, but up there on the bobbin, you can see the white, and next to the white is this Tweety, and so it's more obvious up there how different it is, adding that brown in. I'll show you that in just a minute. You can see it better. I'm going to do a little bit more of this, and then I'll ply it back on itself so you can see what it looks like plied too. We're almost at the end of this piece, so. I'm just going to go ahead and get as far as I'm going to go. Oh, there's a piece of vegetable matter. I like carding, it gets most of that out, but sometimes there's a little bit left in there and you have to take it out as you work. If you don't like to mess with that, you don't need to work with a fleece. You need to buy top, because it's, and sometimes even in top you'll find little bits of that. Okay. Alrighty, let's apply a little bit of this back. I don't know if you can see. That makes a really nice tweed, actually. Looks like a men's wool coat. And you can see, let me go ahead and put this. Oh, okay, come on, unwind for me. I may have. The tweedy stuff, it really sticks to itself good, so. Okay, let's go ahead and roll this up on there. All right. I don't want it to lose its twist, so let me see if I can bring this in a little closer so you can see those difference between those two. Right here. See, there's the white by itself and then the tweed. And they're both pretty. I think I like this better just because it has a little bit of color to it. But it's fun to spin white, and then you can dye it if you want to. But this is mystery wool. I don't know what it was. I just wrote mystery wool on it. But I got some locks, and see, they're pretty short. And it you have to work a little bit harder with this. For one thing, it's got this stuff on the ends that will break off because it was it's just weathered. And it a lot of times depends on whether a sheep's been coated or not, whether you have to deal with those tips or not. And then here's some more. So we got, you know, all this, the difference here between the tip end and the cut end. And that's what it looks like if you just have it like this. Now you can flick it and spin it just from this. You don't have to card it. Let me do some of that. I'll show you. It'll probably be easier to use the tips off the long wool because, where's my leather? Because the longer wool I have more to hold on to, but we'll try this and see if it works. And I have something that's made to do this with, but I don't have it with me, so we're just going to use the hand cards. Okay, so now we've got let me do this end again. It's definitely got some vegetable matter in it. Okay, so here's your wool, just with the tips kind of brushed out to separate them. But other than that, we didn't really do anything to it. And you can see the difference in the color. Whoops, sorry. The difference in the color between this and this. And that's just the way it is sometimes. This is not a really good wool because of that, because of the color change. But it's still fun to play with. Okay, let's spin a little bit of this. Oh, let me, let's see if we can, okay. I guess I am going to have to back up a little bit. I was thinking I could keep it close and you could see what I'm doing more. But you're only going to see the, um, you'll only see this. You won't see anything I'm doing. Okay. And you spin it exactly the same way we did the other. I'm going to go ahead and move this so we can have a third layer and we can look at the difference between those. I don't have as much of this ready, so it won't be as big a bump, so you may not see it as well. And this has some white in it, so it may not look a whole lot different than when I've got the white mixed into it, but I think it'll look a little bit darker. Once. All right, well, that's the end of that. Let's go ahead and you can't tell a whole lot of difference. This one's got a little more brown in it than that one, but not a whole lot. So let me go ahead and card some of the brown just with itself, and we'll put it on there. And I think you'll see more of a difference when the brown is more blended. And this one has a lot of different colors in it. I'll show you what I mean. See how brown this is? See how brown this is? And then we've got some of it in here off the same sheet that's more, got a lot more white in it. So we'll do some of this brown here. Let's get this stuff out of it. Okay. And always bring the tip end down that way. Just so you've got it all running. That's just a blobby mess. That's not going to be good. Let's see, some of it's easier to find the ends than other parts. Okay, let's take some of that here and some of it there. Okay, well, we're going to just card this. A lot of the trash comes out of it when you're doing this. And some little bits that are like shortcuts. Okay, and you can see, looking at it, it's still got some little bits in it. It's not perfect, and that's okay. This is just demonstration. And like I said, this isn't the best wool, but a lot of people would have had this kind of wool to work with. They just had a sheep, you know. They didn't have time to coat their sheeps and worry about them. They just were happy to have the wool to work with. So let's see if we can, trying to see if you could see what my hands are doing a little bit more, but I don't think it's any better. So we'll just stay here. Okay, I'll try to work close to the wheel. I don't usually work this close to the wheel, but that's all right. When you ply, you can get a lot of this trash out too. And I would have worked hard. If this was going to be something I was going to actually use, I would have worked a lot harder to get that out, but I didn't think y'all wanted to watch that. So this is going to be a hodgepodge of yarn, so I probably will only use it in, I don't know, maybe mixed media something. I won't make something that I'm going to wear with it. It's one thing about doing spinning demonstrations, you tend to have some yarn that's not really the best yarn you can produce, because you have to start and stop so much and you get distracted by people. And at least for me, it works that way. I guess if you're a spinner who spins all the time and you've spun for years, you can probably do as good a yarn in a demonstration as you can when you're just spinning by yourself, but I can't. Oh, there's a yucky big piece. Let's take that one out. Oh, that piece. Ah! See, you don't play with it that much. Don't play with it that much. Oh, where's my... I have a tool that helps me. Where did I put it? Well, we're just going to wrap it around here, and I'm going to show that to you. The difference between the brown and the white mixed and the white. And then we're going to be done. I'll find my tool and fix that later. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so here's the brown by itself, and the brown and the white and the white. So it makes, you can definitely make different yarns. And then you could make one of each of these, and you could ply all three of them together if you wanted to, and that would be a really pretty yarn. So there, what you can do with it's pretty much endless. You just keep trying new things. Anyway, thanks for letting me practice, and I think I'm going to have fun on Friday. Thank you. God bless you. Bye bye.